Welcome to the Dawg Chug, Roger and Ed. I've got power.
Andy's back. You got power. You know, I'm going to tell you something. There's been times where you've been knocked out powers. Out there, you get a little bit. And we talked to you on Tuesday. You said, "Oh, I'm up at the store to get a signal," and I honestly, in Summit County, we didn't get nothing. So I didn't think anything of it. And then Wednesday, you were just MIA, and yeah, you had a rough time out there.
Yes, but we're back. I'm back for tonight. It's going to be a great show. Ed, how's it going tonight?
Well, it is going great in the capital city of Columbus, Ohio, where we never did lose power. And I do feel bad for Northeast Ohio. I saw the pics on X and everything. And I was just wondering, is it a third world country up there? Because, it is 2024. I know you guys had bad storms, but was it that bad? Or do you guys just need to bury your lines up there? What's going on?
It was pretty bad. Driving around, I went to Wycliffe for some real estate, and it was like you felt like you're in the zombie apocalypse. Not gonna lie.
I saw there was 4 tornadoes that you guys had up there, so that's a lot to deal with. So hopefully everybody's okay in Northeast Ohio. All got their power back. And shout out to John Hilberry because I thought he had the X post when he talked about when he got his power on that he's going to sleep with all his lights on. Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah,
so shout out to
him.
John and the emos, all the emos. Hope they're doing all right out there.
Yeah.
Well, I heard there's a chance Twisters 3 might be filmed in Cleveland, so that's awesome. Some good will come out of this.
There you go.
Anyway, we got a great show, and I think we're just going to jump right into it. So, Roger, why don't you get us started with a little Roger?
All right, man. Let me get set up here. We're going with the Dawg Chug update. All right. A major snag has developed in the Cleveland Browns Brook Park Dome plans. Cuyahoga County notified the Browns that they're backing the city of Cleveland and its proposal pushing the Browns to remain in downtown Cleveland. Cuyahoga County Chief Executive Chris Ronnie stated that it does not make fiscal sense and any proposal that would create an unacceptable risk to the county's general fund cannot be considered. The Haslam's response was measured and open, saying they wish to continue working with both city and county closely on a project of this magnitude. Later Sunday night's report came in that fire trucks were dispatched to Ronnie's private residence to extinguish a flaming bag of dog poop that was lit on the porch. Security cameras were turned over to the police.
Nice.
It was 8 on that. The whole thing was for that picture. You did a great job. The Browns backup quarterback Jameis Winston has been a local media favorite during player interviews. His lighthearted banter, colorful commentary, and an upbeat attitude in the quarterback room has been a breath of fresh air at this year's training camp. Fans and media alike have called him a true treasure. One even said the word aura was created for Jameis Winston. Jameis's biggest asset is unwavering support of starting quarterback Deshaun Watson. Winston had this to say about his teammate. A lot of people forget when you can go out and see practice, you can knick-knack this, patty-whack that, give a dog a bone. Deshaun Watson is going to turn it on. When asked about Watson's off-field troubles, he said, like my man Andrew Dice Clay said, hickory dickory dock. The masseuse was rubbing his quad. The clock struck 2. The masseuse said, "You," and oh, she wiped her hand up with this white cloth.
Wow. Oh my God. Is anyone still out there?
I thought, that was great. Shout out to Dice. Shout out to Roger for bringing up.
I saw him on the news, and it made me think of the Dice Man, and it just all came together.
Love the Dice Man.
Loved him.
All right. Well, we're going to continue with the sports updates. Let's see what we got. Oh, here we go. Browns rookie Mike Hall was allowed to practice today after his disturbing allegations from yesterday's arrest. And head coach Kevin Stefanski had the following to say when asked about the decision to not part ways. Now, I can assure you that if Mike Hall was a 6th-round pick, there we go. If he was a 6th-round pick or some jag, we'd have his shit strewn outside Berea faster than he tried to throw out his baby mama to the curb to make an example. So a spokesperson from the Women's League would be kissing our ass that the Cleveland Browns values women's and holds every player accountable. But the fact remains, A, We did invest premium draft capital to acquire him. Nobody got it on video, and the bitch didn't even have a mark on her, so I don't care how much that shenanigans mutant on social media whines. There's less chance Mike misses a snap of practice than Trump serves prison time. Wow. He's keeping it
That
loose.
shenanigans is at it, too.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin Stefanski, he's like a new guy this year. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Yeah.
All right. Bengals elite wide receiver Jamar Chase went from holding in to holding out, stoking fears that the impasse between the talented young wide receiver and the front office is growing and could bleed into the regular season, hurting the team's chances at a rebound year. The Dawg Chug spoke to the wide receiver himself to get the exclusive. Dog, it's not even like that. Me and Mike Brown are actually cool. The problem is, before I can practice, I need 3 boxes of premium French macaroni and cheese, gourmet Gruyere gastronomique. And he was tired of footing the bill to stock it in our team kitchen, so told me to stay home and play Madden so he can continue serving Kraft Skyline chili.
Ew.
Right, the guy is cheap.
Yikes.
And finally, Browns linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah signed a 3-year extension today, ensuring the talented player will anchor this defense for years to come. Asked why he was excited to resign, he said, first off, it's kind of a no-brainer to resign with Cleveland. The city's a bit of a dump, but they invest so little in linebackers, my average play gets me into the Pro Bowl. But it's not just about that. I'm also excited to see what new songs Ed in Columbus comes up with in my honor. But best of all, and what made the decision easy for me, I've had a lot of women talking back to me the past couple of years, and I'm beyond thrilled now that I've got my ticket punched to go beat up on some hoes with impunity. Wow. That's
Okay, Psycho.
That's, you think a
It's
guy
just a mentality.
Sure.
Mentality.
Whatever.
Andy, speaking of that, let's go. The Browns will be A-O-A-OK because they got J-O-J-O-K. Andy, when you're drunk at the end of the show, we're gonna close the show out with that, and you won't be scoffing at me. You'll be happy. So keep chugging there, Andy. Keep chugging.
We'll see about that. Hey, do you have a top 10?
I do have a top 10.
Do you have a break-in news?
I do have a break-in news, but
which
you know
one
what?
are you going to do
Back
first?
to back?
Hey, Roger,
Back
which
to
one
back?
should you do first?
What do you guys want? What do you guys want? Top 10 or break-in news?
You got to do top 10 first and then go into breakout news, I think.
Fair enough. That's
I think you're wrapping up with breakout news. That's your thing. So, yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, these are the top 10 things Kevin Stefanski is unwilling to give up besides play calling. Number 10, his parking spot in Berea, nicknamed the Red Zone. Confident, very confident. Number 9, any pertinent information at press conferences.
Good, yeah.
He does show up and have press conferences, though. I will give him that.
He gave some pertinent information in today's.
Yes, he did. Number 8, his membership at Sam's Club. Kev goes for 2, the hot dog and the pizza. I had that last week. Hey, you can't lose there.
Wow.
Number 7, the remote control while he is watching To Catch a Predator. Number 6, his Pornhub subscription. He thinks it's affiliated with Chubhub. He must have got the T-shirts and everything.
Nice.
Yep. Number 5, his Twitter girlfriends he pretends not to know about, even though all of them show up at training camp.
Yep.
Oh, they're fucking.
Number 4, Andrew Berry. If you think they work great together, you got to see them play together. Hey now. Number 3, his wife. No one supports him more and pegs him harder. Number 2, his Denny's like play sheet. It's a grand slam, bitches. And the number 1 thing Kevin Stefanski is unwilling to give up besides play calling is the all-black quarterback room. Kevin is wacko for blacko. And those are your top 10 tonight.
Wow. All right.
If we don't get canceled first, that's always good. But now, like you said, I think we will go back to back here with a little break-ed news. This is Ed in Columbus with your Dawg Chug. Break-ed news. The Summer Olympics are over, and now we will have to deal with the reality that when a man beats up a woman, they will only receive jail time instead of medals.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. The Cleveland Browns are hosting joint practices with the Minnesota Vikings, or what Josh Gordon would call practice. And finally, Coach Kevin Stefanski said that quarterback Deshaun Watson has been cleared for full contact. Asked to clarify, Stefanski said the full contact only applies to on-field activities and nothing off. Hey now. And this is Ed in Columbus with your Dawg Chug. Breaking news.
Wow. So obvious it wrote itself. Well done.
I don't change much when it comes to my stripes or my spots or whatever fictitious animal you want to call me, but I am who I am. The puns are there. We're going to have a great show. We got a great guest come on, Andy. I'm really excited about tonight.
All right. And
Well, let's
surprisingly, he's still on, which is amazing. So I guess let's bring him on. From the Sleeveless Network, from the Lineman, what?
Lounge.
Lineman
Lounge.
Bring it on.
We didn't have a guest.
Mike, welcome to Dawg Chug.
Hey, everybody. How we doing? I'm going to get a drink real quick.
Fuck yeah.
All right, chug. We all chug. There you go.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for coming on.
We're like a couple weeks away from the season. It's an exciting time, and you decided to spend your time on the Dawg Chug. We love that. We appreciate that.
Yeah, glad to be here,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. I'm going to have to give you a ride in my obnoxiously annoying car. How about that?
Down.
Okay, so tell us all about your network and your podcast. I am not super familiar, so I'm sure, I would love a recap.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am founder of the No Sleeves Network. It is a veteran-centric organization designed to bring veterans together for content creation. We've got a couple podcasts. There's a couple video game streams, as well as food reviews. And actually, we produced a movie that was just screened out at the Brightside Film Festival in Jersey City, New Jersey this last week.
Get out. Boy,
Yeah, so that is the No Sleeves Network. And then the Lineman Lounge is our sports podcast that is under the No Sleeves Network brand. Sleeveless Mike is my moniker. I hate sleeves. You should never have to wear sleeves. They should always be optional, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey,
totally agree.
I got too much on, but hey, I'm with you. I'll back you. I'm 100%. Does America wear whatever you want to wear?
Well, that's true. As long as you don't
Look at
wear
Andy got the
fuck sleeve.
look at those pythons.
Yep, that's right. So, what's the Lineman Lounge? Is it Cleveland focused?
Go to the gut, sure.
So the Lineman Lounge is all sports focused. It is me and my co-host Evo Stanford Evervold. He is a Minnesota fan, so we're actually a lot of talking this week about joint practices. He will be in town this week as well. We're doing a march with Irreverent Warriors for suicide prevention for veterans. But yeah, it is all sports, mostly football. We do a lot of sports betting, gambling. Saturday mornings, we break down lines. Last year, I think Evo was almost at a 65% hit rate, and I was around 60%.
Jeez.
That's fantastic.
So
Andy, we dabble here. We do a pool every year. We were the best losers in the whole thing last year, right, Andy?
That's correct. We never won any week, but we came in like fourth place out of 180 people. Whatever, who cares? By the way, where did you serve? What?
I was in the Army 8.5 years as a UAS operator. In layman's terms, I was a drone pilot.
Nice. So,
all right,
perfect for the video game podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do. I have a video game stream. We have a lot of stuff, but the drone stuff is great. It was fun. The majority of the guys that are part of the No Sleeves Network were in that field as well. So it's a tight-knit community. And
then, how is your podcast mate doing with the horrible news today from the Vikings?
Yeah, he's down bad right now. He was upset obviously when JJ went out, found out, not knowing how long he's going to be out for and then find out today, whole year gone. It sucks. I know that he's not happy about it. He was dead set that, Darnold's going to start the season. Darnold is going to take them at least until the bye week. And then he can hand it over to JJ. Obviously that's not happening now. Have not got to talk to him since the news. I would imagine his expectations for the season have drastically changed, though.
And last year was so horrible. They they were kicking so much ass once they got rolling, and then to lose what's his face? Oh my god,
Kirk Cousins.
Cousins, yeah. Oh, that was just brutal because I mean that division was right there.
It was wide open. I mean, the Lions were fantastic. The Lions will be good again, assuming they could play, better defense. But the Vikings thought they might have a chance to come and compete, especially, if JJ was going to take that step. They're not going to see that this year. I think they're going to have to kick the can down to 2025 and see how things play out.
I heard one of the things they think might have contributed to the torn meniscus is he was wearing sleeves. So.
See, that's why you don't wear them. You should never wear them.
Yes.
No, Mike, it'll be a lot easier in that Brook Park Dome to be sleeveless. It'll be a little bit more comfortable than it will be on the lakefront. What are your thoughts about that?
I really hope that dome happens. It would be fantastic for the area. You can see all the development that has happened around Cleveland Browns Stadium right now that apparently is impossible to move because downtown has been set up to be around the stadium and nothing is close. It makes no sense. Brook Park is going to be great, assuming that it can get done. I think the dome will allow for more events, more jobs. It makes complete fiscal sense, but the politicians have to save face. They have to say, no, we're doing everything we can to keep the Browns here in Cleveland, even though Brook Park is still
what they want to see is the Haslam Group development group. The revenue they're going to lose, they don't care about what they're going to gain in Brook Park. What's the city of Cleveland through the county going to lose money-wise? And the Haslams are going to be – something's got to replace that money on the lakefront, that downtown Cleveland. You know what I mean? And something needs to be developed there. And until somebody comes up with a plan for that, what's going to make that – how much rent do they pay a year for 8 games? You know what I mean? And the parking money they make and just the total revenue. Now I saw numbers today that the county commissioner was saying, and I'm thinking, wow, man, that's like 8 games. The city really relies on the Browns according to them. I'd like to see some, numbers from both sides.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, I don't even really think either side really wants them to stay in Cleveland. I think everyone's
No, I don't either.
Yeah,
they just want what's going to go there when you leave. That's what the county wants to know.
I think they have
the money,
and the problem with that area is it's all parking. So once you get rid of the stadium, you have like an incredible amount of room. So I'm sure they have an idea of what they're going to do with that, and they really want that option. So I think there's just going to be a lot of nonsense, and then eventually it's going to get done. And a couple of years they'll be in Brook Park, and I think we're all on the same page. That's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, I'm totally down with it. If they could have, knocked down Burke Lakefront Airport, that'd have been a better location, but that was never going to happen. The FAA was never going to give that up.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, expectations on this upcoming season? It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I would expect that the Browns are going to be very competitive again. I mean, I think I went through and I had it at 11-6, which I think will be right there with the chance to win the division. All reports were great out of today. Obviously, you get a couple of picks from Deshaun, but apparently looked very good the majority of practice. Defense was flying around. If we can stay healthy, health has been a massive issue for this team. We have so many guys that are hurt now. We need to get as many guys to week 1 as possible because I want to kick the Cowboys' ass. And Tom Brady on the call. Just have Dallas come up here and go home with a big fat L.
I love it. I love that.
Now, Mike, you obviously host the Lineman Lounge, so it would be remiss if we didn't talk about the offensive line because our friend Daryl Ryder over at 92.3, he posted that, basically he can't remember the last time the Browns offensive line looked as bad as it did in practice. That's got to be a big concern. Now, we're coming into the season, obviously Deshaun Watson's got to be healthy and play up to what we thought he was going to be when we traded for him. And, we got these new weapons with Jerry Jeudy, and obviously the defense looks like it's going to be top 10, top 5, what it was last year. But now we got this new problem in Cleveland, something that we haven't had in a while, kind of like the Guardians with their starting pitching this year. Now we're having offensive line issues. Talk to us about that. Walk me off the ledge here, because let's be real, in our division, you can have the quarterback, you can have the skill position, you can have the defense, but if the offensive line is not right, then it can ruin your season. So what are your thoughts about that?
I would love to tell you that there's not a problem, but we got a problem.
Lie to me then.
So depth is obviously an issue. That's why we go out, we get Nick Harris, bring him back in. Position flexibility in the middle, obviously needed, especially with Whippler going down. But the biggest issue is at tackle. Conklin working his way back. Jed working his way back. Hudson is not a left tackle. We cannot play him at left tackle anymore. I don't know if we can switch DeJuan to that side. I mean, I know he's got the length, but does he have the technique to switch? I don't think so. We're in a bad spot right now. So your best bet is to get Jed healthy, and let's run with Jed.
Yeah.
However, that has not always been the greatest option that we have seen at times.
It's so weird. Conklin posted on social media right before training camp or close to the beginning of training camp that he was good to go and he had this whole post that he's healthy, and he hasn't seen the field yet. Is there a chance?
I got a theory on that.
Is there a chance they understand how critical these tackles are to the success of this team after last year not having any tackles, being down to our 5th string guys? Are they just keeping these guys in bubble wrap till we get closer to the season?
I think so.
Go ahead, Roger.
Right.
I don't mean to.
No, I'm not saying anything. I just agree.
Yes, I think that they are probably going with kid gloves at this point. We have got to get tackles to the season to win games. We have seen that Hudson is not going to be able to be a guy at left tackle. And this week is going to be really bad, going up against a fantastic rookie in was it Dallas Turner coming off the edge. I went and watched that game because I wanted to see the rookie quarterbacks play. He is so fast, explosive off the ball. He is looks like a young Micah Parsons. He's not to that level yet, but he is absolutely explosive. So he is going to have a tough week all week. And but let's just get it healthy. That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for health, boys.
Oh. Health is the key. I was very excited to watch that first preseason game, and about 10 minutes in, I realized I didn't care about watching much more of the game. There was something incredibly boring about it, and I'm sure it was just because everyone I was watching was guys, very low on the roster. But there was a lack of, I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while. Usually in preseason, the Browns are gung ho, but they didn't appear to have that.
Yeah, they were very, very soft, very, very vanilla offense. I don't know what this offense is going to look like yet either. With Kevin calling plays and a new system, it's going to be interesting to see the way that those things meld together. What this is truly going to look like when they have their full complement of players. Because I don't know that we're seeing exactly what we're going to expect to see throughout the season right now. We're always going to get watered down in the preseason, but I think we're seeing a very, very watered down version right now.
More than usual.
Yeah.
It's like we're on Hard Knocks and they don't want to show anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Roger, you got a good question?
Well, you know what? Saturday, we did a bunch of shit in the morning, and I get home and I watched the first 2 series. Offense, I watched defense, and we had to go and get a couple bundles of hay, and I DVR'd the game, and I'm like, I DVR'd it, knowing we had a lead. And I'll watch it tonight. So Saturday night, man, I was watching some rerun of some movie, and I thought, well, I'll watch that Browns game. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch that. You know what I mean? It just didn't. What Andy was saying, I agree with you. Here's what I want to ask you, Mike. And we touched on a little bit with the new offensive coordinator. What Reuter was talking about with the offensive line is how much is Callahan going to be missed?
I mean, I would imagine quite a bit. He's the best offensive line coach in all of football. Not that the new offensive line coach is not a good coach, but you're talking about Coach Callahan. That man is revered among offensive linemen, among offensive line coaches. He is the best in the business, and he's talked about it for that reason. There's going to be a step back. There's going to be maybe some changes along with what we're trying to do, new technique, because the offense is also going to change. So there's going to be an adjustment period for this line. New offensive line coach, new system. We're seeing all of these things kind of come to a head right now. But we still have not seen our full complement of healthy offensive linemen yet. We have no idea what that's going to look like.
I kind of have a follow-up on that, and it's kind of like is that going to lead to or allow for excuses to be made for the production on the offensive side of the ball? The offensive lines tackle is a problem right now, man. We're strong on the interior, even with the kid from Michigan, the rookie center. We brought Harris back. And of course we got Petonio and Teller. We're strong on the interior. It's on the ends. And that's a big problem when you have a quarterback that's not a pocket passer, that relies on getting around the edge and creating. I think we got a big problem on our hands with a new offensive line coach, a new quarterback coach, just with the fancy title, because that's what Ken Dorsey is, and kind of, implementing a new system or reinventing Kevin Stefanski's system all at once. So,
well, I can tell you.
Their hand.
Go ahead.
I was just saying they got their hands full.
No, they absolutely do. I can tell you, in my opinion, that it's not even an opinion. It's basically a foregone conclusion. We're all Browns fans, right? Of course, there's built-in fucking excuses for why something is not going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. It'll be there's play calling, the quarterback. There's always something that we have to point to, be like, oh, this is why it didn't work out. There's some sort of built-in excuse. We're getting to the point where this entire regime and all the things that are happening, we're starting to run out of excuses for why we can't get over a certain hump, right? Now, Kevin Stefanski is two-time coach of the year. We've been to the playoffs. He's won a playoff game with Baker Mayfield, got back there with 4 different quarterbacks last year. I'm not saying Kevin Stefanski's on the hot seat by any means, but we have got to see a marked improvement for all the moves that have been made. We have got to see our quarterback take the step forward, give us 3,500 yards and 25 touchdowns. Right? We need a minute. That's league average stuff. We need that. But to give us that, he's got to play 17 games.
I'll take Jameis Winston's. I'll take his 5,000 yards and 30 interceptions with 22 touchdowns.
We can't do 30 interceptions.
You know what I mean?
Great, but we can't do 30.
Just throw the football. Right.
Now, Mike, speaking of this new Browns offense and speaking of interceptions and everything, I'm going to try to wrap this up and say that what will help the Browns out the most? Now, Ken Dorsey's coming over from Buffalo after being fired. It's his offense, but basically they couldn't run the football in Buffalo. Now, was that because of their running backs or was it because of their offensive line? Now, obviously we have a little bit better running back situation than Buffalo does, but with Nick Chubb coming back off an injury, we got Foreman and we got, like the kid from Buffalo. It's better. I still think it's better. So what's going to help Deshaun? Because I think what Roger was saying on what I meant by tying this together was the excuses. I think that, a lot of Watson warriors out there will say that it's not fair to judge him if the offensive line is horrific. And that may be true, but, this is a make it or break it year with a lot of people with Watson. You bring in a new offense. You got a bad offensive line as of right now. You got running backs that are hurt. What will help it the most? Will it be the running game? Will it be, just Watson being able to pick up the offense real quick, or Kevin Stefanski and Ken Dorsey calling the right play calls? Because you're asking for all these things to come together to get a finished product that we can all be happy about. So what do you think is the number one catalyst that can get that going?
I honestly think it's the scheme change.
Okay.
Deshaun does not do a great job under center. And when he turns his back, he has a tendency to lose track of some things. So playing in a more wide open system, I think, is going to really benefit him. Because listen, we have seen Deshaun have really bad moments since he's been a Brown, but we've also seen some spectacular throws. Like was that last year, week 14? What deep ball? I don't remember what week it was. It was beautiful, beautiful ball placement. Like we've seen him do some great things. He's got to stay healthy though. And the rust, there is no more rust. We can't have that. That's no longer an excuse. That cannot be a thing. The scheme change is really what I think is going to make the difference. He's used to being a shotgun guy. And if this scheme change doesn't make a difference, we're going to have hard conversations, especially when it comes to salary cap and what's going to happen in that way.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. One more thing.
Oh, yeah.
How about them fucking Guardians? We haven't talked about the Guardians. It's just, you know what, man? We're headed into Milwaukee. They're not the Brewers, man. First place in the NL Central. But they just keep playing baseball. I had to mention the Guardians. We've talked a half hour, and we haven't even mentioned the best organization, the best franchise, the best team in the city, and that's the Cleveland Guardians. So.
Listen, if you guys got a minute, I'd love to go off on the people who are doom and gloom on Twitter that the Guardians are going to somehow lose this division to the Twins. The Guardians have the best record in all of baseball. Do we think that somehow all of a sudden the Twins are the best fucking team in baseball, that they're going to track us down? At no point has that dog shit squad looked like they are the best team in baseball, and the Guardians have looked like that several times and currently have the best record. I'm tired of the doom and gloomers. Listen, we lost 5 straight. Shit happens. We won 5 straight. We're still the best team in baseball. Quit your bitching.
Yep. You know, you got 41 more games left. We got the Yankees, the Astros. We got the Royals twice. That's those 2 series that matter. And we got the Twins one more time halfway through September in the American League. Then we got some National League teams played. If we could do 500 in the American League and take care of the Twins at the end of in mid-September, we win the division, no problem. As long as we take care of business in the American League, play 500 and win that series, by then the Twins will be buried and we win the division. We're probably going to end up winning 95 games. I'm thinking 95, 96 games is what I'm thinking.
Right around there. Because we also have a couple of series against Texas, which we should be able to take at least.
Oh, yeah. We got the Rangers. We got the Rangers, too.
We got Tampa Bay, who we should be able to take 3 out of 4 there. Yeah. The Astros will be a tough series. Expect a split there. But we also get Cincinnati for 2 games. We can take both of those. And then we get to play the worst team in the history of baseball again for 3 more games. So I don't know why we're worried about the Guardians.
Right. 95, 96 wins.
I'm not
worried about
it drives me crazy. The Guardians they're on a 5-game winning streak and no one's talking about them. And then they'll lose 2 games and everyone will act like the sky's falling and they suck and it boggles my mind. It's so frustrating.
I absolutely agree. I
can't enjoy this team, then there's something broken inside of you and fuck off.
Right. Hey, and not even to mention, that was prior to both Cobb and Bird coming on. Those 2 guys solidify the rotation because when you get to October, you only need 3 of them. You know, but those 2 guys tonight, Cobb was, great. But last night, Matthew Bird was phenomenal. Phenomenal. He pitched beautifully, man. If you can get that out of them, those 2 guys, man, look out. Look out.
Yeah, we had guys eat innings for us early in the year, kept us going through the season. Like Cookie, what can we say about Cookie? Like he eats 100 innings for us this year and keeps us in games. I mean, obviously he lost. I think he lost 10 games, but his no decision, we're still there. I have a soft spot for Cookie, but we have been finding ways to piece it together, and it's still working.
I'm guilty, and I'm ashamed of myself because he's old and like me, and he's piecing it together, and he's out there busting his ass, And I apologize to him publicly because there are times on Twitter where I never bashed him, but I'm like, all right, it's a time to move on from the cookie thing, and I'm ashamed of it. I owe him an apology. The guy
I
goes
know-
out there and he busts his ass for us.
I know Cookie had like a long career with the Indians and his cancer battle. We were all there with him and whatever. But watching him this year was sort of like watching PJ Walker with the Browns last year. You loved the effort he was giving, but you were just like, oh my God, how much longer can I do this?
Yeah, listen, we love Cookie for what he did. The fact that he made it through those games for us was huge because we had so many tired arms. Like we still got guys that are down at AAA. Tristan's trying to get right. Logan Allen's still trying to get right. So what he did for us to get us to this point, I mean, I love him for that.
Love him. Yeah, I love.
I think I can sum up Cleveland's sports attitudes towards the Guardians and the Browns. The people that are still on the Guardians are like the green seats at Progressive Field, and the people that have moved to the Browns are like the navy blue seats. They've moved on. So maybe if Cleveland could just get their seatings, maybe the same color on the same page, we'll be together. But as long as the Guardians keep winning, hey, they're gonna make a prominent stand this fall, and we're gonna have to take notice. And no matter how many Browns games, wins or losses, and how many people are complaining on X, the Guardians will be in the news. So make a late October push, Cleveland, and we'll have some fun.
Absolutely. Now, Roger, if you don't mind, let me ask you, right now, do you have Class A as your Cy Young guy?
Do I have what? Class A?
Is Class A the Cy Young of the American League?
Without a doubt, there's not one starter in the American League that's a runaway standout candidate, for yeah, absolutely. And it's not even a homer opinion, because I really believe if he was a Yankee or a Dodger or a Met,
not a conversation.
it wouldn't even be a fucking question. Wouldn't even be a question. They'd already send a trophy to him. So absolutely, I believe he deserves a Cy Young.
If we had a, let's say, like slightly above average closer this year instead of Class A, what would our record be right now? Like how many more wins and losses?
We might be tied with the Twins. It's a 3.5 game lead. I think it's maybe tied with the Twins probably.
I'll tell you this. Last year, we led the major leagues by the middle of May in both saves and blown saves. And that's what happened last year is the Twins won the division when Emmanuel Class A isn't fucking lights out Emmanuel Class A. And I just saw a comparison, and who put it up? Somebody put it up today of him
with Mariano Rivera. With Rivera.
Yeah, the Rivera comparison the first 3 years of their careers. And you got to remember, we got him for Kluber, and he sat out in the season we got him for PED he was suspended. And he didn't even pitch for us that year that we traded him for Kluber. He showed up, and the next thing you know, he's gone. And I mean, that's just we got him in the Kluber deal, and we're what? I thought they got rid of Kluber late because of COVID. I thought they lost out on Kluber, and once again, I'm a plumber, and that's why I'm a plumber because I was wrong.
I think.
And I can admit that
2 innings before he was out for that year.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna. This has been some spirited discussion. Love it, but we're gonna move it along to our spit sip chug.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. Everyone knows how this works. I'm gonna read a statement. You chug if you agree, spit if you disagree, and sip if you're Roger. Right? That's how that goes. Ed, why don't you run it tonight?
All right. Well, obviously, our first
start with Roger. Yeah, please.
Yeah, our first statement, because these are statements, like Andy said, these are statements, and we'll start with you, Roger. The Browns shouldn't have let Mike Hall Jr. practice today.
Man,
Do we just go whenever, or because I got a lot in this class.
I'm gonna sip on it because nobody laid down the rules on it.
Ed.
Mike, sometimes they don't let me sip because I abuse it. And mostly because I'm accidentally drunk by this point of the show. And I have to start slowing down. I'm going to sip on it because, number one, in the real world, like out in the real world, you catch a misdemeanor because that's what he's charged with. You you show up for court, your lawyer gets you out, you leave, and you go to work the next day. You know what I mean? Because you have to go to your job because you need a paycheck. Your boss, depending on what it is, really, I work construction all my life. There's some shady construction workers. The boss is like, just be here 7 to 3:30. I don't care what you do after work. If you're not killing or raping or murder, you know what I mean? So in the real world, you get a misdemeanor, you go to work the next day. You know, I'm sipping because it is the Cleveland Browns. It is a domestic situation. They already have at tackle. How many? This is 3 in a row that Barry's gone into the county jail and gotten out of. So I'm on the fence. In the real world, yeah, you got to go to work the next day. The police let him out, and right now he's innocent until proven guilty. So,
all right,
okay. We'll go Andy next, and then we'll go Mike.
Whoa. Let's see. Shouldn't have let him practice today.
Yeah,
I am, well, I'm going to spit. Obviously, it was very disturbing to read, the accounts of what we were given, but there is two sides to a story, and I'm not going to let the court of public opinion, affect things. That if the Browns think that there's enough, that whatever, who knows what was really going on. So until we know more, I'm not gonna crucify the Browns. And they did make a big investment. The guy does. I mean, it did seem scary that whatever he's going through. Hopefully this can be a good situation. There's a lot of guys that come into the NFL and have a lot of pressure and slip up, and then they act together. All that is true. Obviously, if I'm like a bettor and I'm saying Mike Hall's going to be a successful player in the NFL, the odds came way down in my book just because of what I read. But I'm not going to allow that to say that he should be villainized and he was wrong and he should be kicked off the team. Anyone that's out there preaching that, shame on you. You should just kind of let's let everything play out and respect the process. That's where I'm at. So I spit.
Mike.
I am going to chug, gentlemen.
Okay.
So, listen, the reports are obviously very damning. It doesn't sound good, and I'm not necessarily spitting or drinking because I think Mike Hall should be cut or anything like that. If the reports are true and everything comes out, we find out through the legal process that what happened in that police report actually happened, they should cut it, in my opinion. You can always get a second chance. We have seen other guys in NFL history get second chances other places because it just didn't work out in place one. But I'm drinking because I'm tired of fucking talking about things that are not football as it revolves around the Cleveland Browns. It's annoying. Like, we talk about shit that doesn't involve the actual football so much. The fan base feels divided very much still. So having them out there creates more conversation, more questions about why is this guy out here instead of, hey, coach, how do we do in joint practice number 1 against the Vikings? We don't need to be answering questions about Michael Hall when Michael Hall is possibility not going to be playing anytime in the near future. Let the process play out. Let the NFL do what they're going to do. But the very next day, I feel like you got to read the room a little bit.
Wow.
To that, what about the fact that I think the Browns do value their players a lot, and it seems they have their back. Like, they hung on to Cade York for so incredibly long throughout his struggles when this entire town wanted to throw this guy through a window. They eventually did cut him and they brought him back. They're going to get probably a draft pick out of that, which is awesome.
Boomerang. He's a boomerang.
Different thing though, but they do seem to really stick with their guys and try and give them the support that they need. Is it just that during this guy's darkest time, they don't want him just wallowing on his own, having dark thoughts? They want to bring him with his teammates and coaches and try and like give him a, I don't know, somewhat normal day to help him kind of realize.
I think you can bring him in and have him in the building, but you don't necessarily have him practice.
I respect that. That makes sense. Actually, that's very, very well said.
Well,
so I think we're gonna have to go to Ed now, and you're gonna
before I actually give my reasoning, I gotta say
here's the pressure you're under though. One of us sipped, one of us spit, and one of us chugged. So you're gonna be the tiebreaker.
I am
gonna go with is the winner.
I feel so much pressure, Andy, that I got to say inappropriate things right now. And I just want to say this. You know who should be really, really happy that we have Mike Hall Jr. on the practice field today, and we should bring more people with the unshady characteristics that he has, is Deshaun Watson, because he looks like an angel compared to him today. And also, too, Roger, I got to say this about Mike Hall Jr. because I'm a Buckeye, OHIO. You know what? This is what happens. This is what happens when you lose to Michigan and you don't beat Michigan. Michael Jr., I'm telling you, it does something to the brain. Okay, there's my inappropriate things. So I will break the tiebreaker right now. And I am chugging. Surprise, surprise, I'm chugging. I think a lot like Andy does. I really do think a lot like Andy does when it comes to what he was saying about, the workplace environment and bringing them in. And a lot of the things that Andy said, I totally wholeheartedly agree with. And I think on a normal, regular job that applies. But I am chugging and with Mike on this because it's not, like I said, about a cutting thing or making to prove a point or whatever like this. But just for today, with it being so toxic right now and the report coming out, you could have just not have him come out and then let people assume, let him assume that he's watching HR videos. Let him assume that, he's going through some mental, some counseling. Let people assume anything but him actually just going out there pretending like nothing happened, because something did happen. And that's the thing. Something did happen, and you can't hide that. The Browns can't hide that. So it being, normal, him having a normal work day, I think, it does, get under it irks Browns fans, and rightfully so. And it should. And that's fine. The Browns, it's not just a regular job. When you are a member of the Cleveland Browns, you are representing a city. You are representing, it's not a normal job. It's like being a politician to some extent. You are representing something else. So that's why I'm chugging on that. Didn't want to, but because the Browns, represent more than just an employer, you have to.
All right. Well, Ed, I have to say you are an influencer because you just convinced me that cancel culture is a good thing. And
no. But Andy, I'll say this. Andy did the other day with one of his posts on X. He did convince me that you are right, Andy. Electric vehicles are bad for the environment. So thank you, Andy. And if you don't believe me, check out Andy on X. So we will go to our second statement. And that statement being, the Steelers' contract with Patrick Queen will be better value than similar money the Browns paid to extend JOK today. We will start with you, Andy.
Yeah, I think McQueen got like 3 years, $40 million, and JOK was like 3 years, $38 million. This is silly. Like the Ravens gave up on that guy for a reason. He makes phenomenal plays, and he has some horrible plays. JOK is so much better the majority of downs, my opinion. And we locked him up. We didn't let him leave. The Ravens let Queen go. So that's why I'm just going to go that absolutely this is a spit. It's an easy spit. I love the JOK signing.
Mike.
Yeah, this has got to be a spit for me as well. It doesn't make Patrick Queen, while I'm not as down as Andy is, the value is what we're talking about. Joke is going to be way more valuable. He has shown to be an excellent off-ball linebacker. He knows how to trigger, can rush the passer. Patrick Queen is great for some things, but he gets lost a lot of times, it looks like. So give me the joke. So I'm not going to spit on my floor, but I'm going to spit as well.
I don't want to reveal like a secret, but I'm never actually spitting.
But it sounds fucking good, bro. It sounds so much like you're spitting.
Yeah. By the way, we had the same answer. So, yeah, he's
Good
great. Queen is a great linebacker. However, he's not an exceptional one, and we have an exceptional one. So, sorry, Roger.
Yeah.
Sorry. Wait, hold on. Wait, Ed's gonna cue you up.
Oh, speaking of exceptional, Roger.
There it is.
Oh, thank you, Ed. I'm waiting for your ticker to come across the bottom of the line.
It's going.
It is.
Because I haven't decided. No, you know what? That's first of all, look, he was drafted by Baltimore in like 2016 or 2017, right? 17, something like that. LSU.
Yes.
And JOK, first of all, he's younger. It's not even a comparison. JOK's on his way to be an all-pro elite linebacker. The only linebacker in the NFL right now that's better than him, as far as I'm concerned, is Mika Fitzpatrick. It's the only guy, or I'm sorry, what's his name? Dallas Cowboys linebacker.
Micah
Parsons?
Parsons.
Ed. Yeah, Parsons. What did I say? I was thinking about the cheap shot Steeler. But JOK is probably the second best linebacker in the NFL. He's going to be an all-pro. You're just starting to see what JOK can do. The first year in Swartz defense. This is going to be the second year in the defense. Yeah, watch out for JOK. He may end up being the best linebacker in the NFL when it's all said and done this year.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Oh, I am going to make it a clean sweep right here and spit as well. And the only thing I got to say, Andy, is the Browns will be A-O-A-OK because they got J-O-J-O-K. The defense should come their way. JOK be making plays. Okay, so that's what he's going to do. It's going to be a better value than what Queen is with the.
It's one of my favorite songs.
It's great. It's huge. The other thing I want to point out that was I think it's kind of funny, not funny, but it's interesting how they do contracts. And obviously we always talk about Andrew Berry and the chess versus the checkers and all this fun stuff. But if you look at Queen's contract, it called for like 11.5 million in the signing bonus and then like 13.8 guaranteed. And then when you just look at JOK's, it's cleaner. It's just 25 million guaranteed. So roughly about the same guaranteed money there. But it's just funny how they structure different things. And, we always talk about the Browns and how they are ahead of the game when it comes to salary cap. I think that goes to Andrew Berry. And it just seems like when he does deals too, we always talk about the Browns, they can't do stuff because, all these players, 10 million, we'll get into it with the next statement that Andy wrote beautifully. But, it's just funny that with all the players that we have over that, it's like Barry just does it clean. And then all these other organizations like the Steelers, they have to, put this in signing bonus and this in guaranteed. And Barry's like, maybe it has to do with the Haslam's and good owners there, but clean sweep on that one. Great stuff. And we'll move on to statement number 3. And that statement being Browns lead the league in players making over 10 million per season. The Browns had better win because they are irresponsible with the salary cap. We'll start with Mike on this one.
I neglected it. It's 12 players.
12 now. Okay,
10
12
million or more.
Okay.
12. Yeah, so I am going to sip here because they do have to be good. If you're making that much million, that many guys making over 10 million, they have to be good. But they're not irresponsible with the salary cap because the salary cap is a fucking myth. And Andrew Berry proves that every offseason.
Wow. Tough act to follow, Roger. That's you next.
It's my turn? I dozed off. Ed, first you were going counterclockwise.
Well, you moved. You got off the screen and then you came back in. That's what screwed it up.
But I did that so I could be back over here. All right. All right. So let's rehash some stuff here. If they're spending like drunken sailors, remember John Dorsey? If John Dorsey was in charge, I would be we'd already be in trouble. We'd already be in cap trouble. We'd already be buried like he buried the Kansas City Chiefs. But we got people in charge, and Andrew Berry gets a lot of credit. But the guy that takes care of does the mathematics is Paul DePodesta. Everybody wonders, what does DePodesta do? What does DePodesta do? He's the guy doing the math. He's the guy that did the math in baseball and fixed baseball. He's the guy that's doing the math. I have complete faith in Paul DePodesta. There's a reason Jimmy Haslam pays him a lot of money. And it is the salary cap. The Browns don't give a shit. You know what it's like? You know when you go to Aldi's and you put the cart back and like you push the thing in and you leave the quarter, you just leave it for the next guy. That's how Andrew Berry treats the salary cap, like the fucking quarter in the cart at Aldi's. He doesn't care about it. You know what I mean? And I saw that whole list of people that are going to be due money next year. A lot of them are on 1-year contracts because that's what he does. He signs a lot of players to 1-year contracts, veteran. And what he does is he locks up the elite core young talent like JOK. So, am I worried? No. Or whatever. No, I'm spitting or whatever I'm doing, I guess.
Wow.
The beers are kicking in.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can't even tell, Roger.
No, not at all. Hey, Andy, there's a ticker. Did you know that on the bottom? And it tells you what the statement is. Did you know that there's a ticker on the bottom? Because Roger was having issues with that, but whatever.
Beer's kicking in, Ed.
Yeah, it's kicking in.
I don't use the dock anymore, Ed. I use the ticker. I use the ticker.
The ticker. After bad cheesy joke alert coming up, breaking news. After last season and the number of quarterbacks that the Browns had, when I go to Aldi, Roger, I always get my quarterback with my card. But I'm spitting on this statement, right, Andy? I know. I'm definitely spitting on this. But I will say in that statement, the Browns had better win, and I want to underline that, put it in bold. They better win. It's not because anything to do with being irresponsible about the salary cap. They better win. Here's why. Because when the hell are they going to win if they don't win this year? You got a quarterback. I know things are tough. It's a new system, and the offensive line looks like shit right now, and you're running back, all pro running back coming off his knee, getting blown out in Pittsburgh. I get it. There's some bad things, but every team has bad things every year. The Browns have not won the division. I know this is another breakhead news since 1989. And I know that's a Taylor Swift album, but it's getting ridiculous here. And I'd rather listen to that than hear 1989 was the last time we won the division. That's got to change. There's only 3 other teams in the division. And Kevin Stefanski, Coach of the Year, twice. Great job. You still haven't won the damn division. So it's not that you got 2 trophies, but you've yet to get us T-shirts that say AFC North champions, which, of course, is Cleveland Cox will go out and buy the night that it drops because we're so starved for anything. That's fine. I am too. I'm hungry. But, yeah, they better win this year, and it has nothing to do with salary cap. Andy.
I'm with you, Ed. I'm with you.
Ed, you bring up a really good point. Like, if you look at this team from the quarterback standpoint, I mean, we're kind of in this crazy year where is Deshaun the guy or is he not the guy? Because, like, we're kind of shit or get off the pot, right? If it doesn't happen this year, I think you really have to start thinking about moving on, which is going to create, like, I don't know. I think if you do it after like designate after June 1st, it's like a $80 million cap hit or
84, I want to say is what it was.
That's all. That's all.
It's something ridiculous, but whatever. At least then you have options. You can actually consider moving on and trying to find another option. But what I will say, why I think the if we take out the Deshaun Watson situation, which is a huge part of what this front office has done. Why I think they're responsible with that one possible blemish, or maybe it works out and we all love it. The Browns have paid guys every contract they've paid out outside of maybe that one. I don't think any of us are sweating on it. I mean, maybe giving Jedrick Wills one more year didn't make a ton of sense, but like that's even that's for 1 year. All the guys they've committed to, like last year, Delpit, this year, JOK, are guys that I love. I think our core guys, if we have, I don't think anyone would disagree. If we had like a top 10 quarterback, this is a team that would win the AFC North.
Yep.
I think they thought they were getting that, whether they are or not, whether there changes in scheme. I believe, yeah, AVP didn't really put Deshaun in something he was comfortable in. I'm an optimistic guy, so I'm going to buy into that. Hopefully moving forward. Dorsey puts the scheme in a situation where we get the best out of Watson. We'll see. We'll see how that all works out. But anyway, this is all to say that I don't think the Browns have been very irresponsible with the cap. I think they've done a great job, and clearly the Browns are paying guys money like future years, knowing that they can end up way overpaying the cap. Like I think the Browns are $50 million over the cap every year or something crazy like that over what every other team's spending. And that's just testament to our owner. He wants to win and he's willing to do what it takes. So I appreciate that. Anyway, I don't think we're being that irresponsible, but it all comes down obviously to is the big move that we made the correct one, or is like a couple of years down the road, are we going to look at that and say that's what kept this front office from getting it done? We'll find out, but I still respect what they're doing. I am going to, let's see, I got to spit.
Yeah.
I think they're they're getting it done. That some actually came out of my mouth that way.
That looked that way. That had to have. It had to have. It's really. Oh wow! And that will bring us to our last statement. Statement number 4. And that is, if the Steelers pull off the trade for Brandon Ayuk and extend him, this would mean big trouble for the Browns in the next couple of years. I will start by saying, of course, they got Pickens in Pittsburgh, and if they had Ayuk, but one thing I'll say, it's a passing league. So, to expect teams in your division not to eventually acquire 2 good receivers. Now, I know Baltimore for some time, and luckily for the Browns that, they didn't have the best wide receiving core, and that kind of helped us because, they had Lamar Jackson, and, he had to use his legs more than he probably wanted to, and that's a good thing. Now they had Andrews, a tight end that, would kill us in games and stuff like that. So, a lot of these times that you're dealing with these teams, you're dealing with one great receiver, and then they either have a tight end or, there's always weapons. It's the NFL. Every team has bunches and bunches of weapons. So yes, obviously he's a good player, so it makes it tougher. But, this Browns defense has been built. Let's see, the defensive line, the linebackers now, and the secondary. So I don't know. I mean, the defense for the Browns is, top 5, and there's really no position group that you're like, oh, there's a weakness really, and kind of nice. So yes, it would be more of a problem, but not a problem. So you know what? Fuck Pittsburgh. I'm spitting.
All right,
Andy.
Yeah.
There you go, counterclockwise again. What are you doing?
He's only gone counterclockwise, Roger. Watch him back. Sorry, Ed. Yeah.
No, thank you. You stuck up for me, Andy. You stuck up for me.
Let's get Ross back and replace Roger.
He's been giving me a hard time lately, and you don't even know.
All right. So, if the Steelers get Brandon Ayuk, obviously he's not a good player. He is like, an elite player. He's fantastic. Any team that gets him is going to be significantly better. But I refuse to worry about the Pittsburgh Steelers until they find a quarterback. And I don't know. I know Justin Fields has a lot of potential, but I'm not that worried about them at this point. So I'm not worried about them giving more draft capital that they could use to find their quarterback to bring in a wide receiver that's not really going to fix what's broken about that team. So I love it. If they do that, I won't sweat it that much. So I am going to, is this another spit?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Wow. I don't think I've ever had a show where I spat 4 times.
I know this show is kind of predicated on drinking, Andy. So this isn't.
Good news is I have been drinking.
It's true. Mike.
Oh gosh, I want to spit, but I have to be honest about Brandon Ayuk. Like, there's a reason the Browns wanted to trade for him. There's a reason that people like this guy, that people are going and seeking to trade for him, knowing they're going to have to pay him upwards of $30 million a year. So if the Steelers were able to pull this off, could it cause problems? Sure, absolutely. But I don't think he's gonna go there. And as long as Jim Schwartz is still the defensive coordinator, I like our chances to deal with the problem that Brandon Ayuk is. So I am going to sip. Sure, is there potential there that he could cause problems? Absolutely. He's a damn good receiver. There's a reason that we talked about going to get him. Do I have major concerns with how good our secondary is and our defensive coordinator? Not really.
Nice.
sorry, real quick. Can I just add one thing? Do you remember when the Steelers traded for Minka Fitzpatrick? They gave a lot of draft capital to bring him in. I wasn't scared of that either because he is an elite player. He's a great player, but I should have been because he's a dirty player and he took out one of our best players. So,
damn, Andy. Damn.
I guess I should.
As soon as Baker stopped throwing him slants right to his chest, he decided he was going to take a knee from Chug.
Roger, with that, Roger, what do you say?
You know what? I'm spitting on it. I'm not worried about it because obviously a deal hasn't been done because this guy didn't want to play for somebody. It's about him. Is he gonna when he gets to Pittsburgh? If he gets to Pittsburgh, is he gonna? I'm not. You know what? This makes me think about the Browns. Is he gonna be? It's a statement actually asked about and if they extend him, like in the future, will he be a problem for the Browns? Also.
You're assuming that they get him
if
and
they trade, they're gonna have to
extend him.
Yeah.
I just
the Steelers are not the Jets. They won't.
You know
trade
what?
For somebody
Pittsburgh. The whole offense is based on running the football, right? I mean, or you're gonna have Russell Wilson throwing you 8-yard, checkdowns. I don't know. I think once he gets there, it'll be like with every Pittsburgh. How many great wide receivers have gone through there that like everything was a problem and they're gone? I don't know.
All right.
Wow.
So I'm spitting on it. How about that?
Spit away.
Wow. Those are great statements. That concludes our Spit, Sip, Chug segment for the week. Andy, thank you for those.
Yeah, Andy.
Well, a lot of consensus. Andy, there's a lot of division going on in the world, whether it be politics, whether it be sports. And Andy tonight united everybody, and we all agree on a lot of those statements.
I don't know. The first one, we all disagreed.
Well, there's a lot of – we all spit that one time. We all chugged the one. It was pretty – a lot of consensus. More consensus than usual unless we break – the rules are that Roger has to chug, which we didn't do in the beginning, Andy. That was our fault. Should
the Dawg Chug get rid of Roger? I'm chugging.
Oh, damn.
What?
I'm spitting. Roger, you invited me on, brother. I'm spitting. I got your back.
I told him to invite you on.
Yeah.
Ed.
I'm chugging.
You know me. I only look out for myself. So, et tu, Brute, Roger, I love you. But,
hey,
I'm looking for security here. Okay.
Was it the Dice Man? Was it the Dice Man?
No, that was great.
That was actually good. That's probably your strongest point. We love you, Roger. You know what? We will put this to a vote. Everybody, this week on X, we will put it to a vote.
Thank you, Mike.
Should Roger stay?
Sorry, Mike. You get to see firsthand that we actually do get really drunk, and the show gets really stupid.
Hey, you know what? I'm down with the devolving. Listen, if I were upstairs and my wife wouldn't kill me for smoking down here, I'd have devolved a while ago.
Do you have one hot take about one of our Cleveland sports? It could be the Guardians, it could be the Browns.
A hot take.
Something.
Yeah, juicy.
Something gets the people going.
Yeah.
No one's watching, so you could say something really controversial.
Yeah,
Right.
I very much doubt that.
Friday.
This is the year that the Guardians finally bust that fucking glass ceiling. We're gonna win a World Series this year.
Oh my god!
Jeez.
Oh my!
Winning the World Series.
The people who are online bitching about the Guardians week in and week out, when they lose a couple games, just shut the fuck up. And when we win a World Series, enjoy the parade. This town's gonna go fucking nuts. This is the best team in baseball because they play the best brand of baseball.
Can I ask you a question about that? Can you give me your top four? We're in a series against, I don't know, the Yankees and the ALCS, whatever the case may be. Who's our four pitchers that we're trotting out 1 through 4?
Okay,
that's what scares me when you say, you know what I'm saying?
Bybee for sure. Lively. I think that Gavin Williams will come on.
Okay.
That third guy is going to be tough.
Yeah. Boyd? Boyd?
I want to say it's Cobb. Cobb has been there. Cobb has won a World Series with the Giants.
It's a good problem to have if they're all healthy. It's a good problem to have if they're all healthy. Because if you look back at 2016, you had Kluber chopping his fingers off. All you had was, not Kluber, I'm sorry, Bauer chopping his fingers. All you had was Kluber and the little cowboy. You had two pitchers that carried us through that, man. Tomlin, the little cowboy, and they carried us through the playoffs with patchwork starters, through the whole thing. If you got 4 or 5 healthy guys going into October, man, God, look out.
You're good.
Look out.
So who would our matchups be? Like, who would our first round matchup be in your opinion? If you had to estimate, obviously.
Gosh, right now?
Yeah, we're probably gonna win our division. So who's the most likely who would face round 1?
The Mariners, if they get in.
Mariners. All right, we'd beat them. Probably.
A wild card. Yeah.
So then we'd play who in round 2?
Oh, geez.
So I know who I'd like to play. I'd love to play the Yankees.
Yeah, obviously.
I don't want to play the Orioles.
Hey, the Yankees are the best team in baseball.
But that team is young and good.
Yeah,
they are.
You're right. The Yankees are better on the road than they are at home.
And
the Guardians are the best team in baseball at home. So if we could take 2 games at home, they're one of the worst teams at home in Yankee Stadium. We can beat them in Yankee Stadium. You're right. The Yankees, man. I want them.
How sweet would it be to beat the Yankees after what happened a couple?
I want them, man. I want them.
That'd be fantastic.
The Yankees come in here, but they're good on the road, though. They're good on the road.
Well, you know what's
team in baseball.
What's funny is because if you're looking at the wild card right now, the AL Central, talk all the smack you want about it in prior years, but the Guardians being the top team. Right now, Minnesota and Kansas City would be, in those playoffs, I'm saying this wild card. So I think it's going to come down to a combination of, maybe having to play somebody in your division or whoever, and then playing a tough team, maybe the Yankees or whoever. So I think, I think to Mike's point, we are the best team. And what does the best team have to do? You can't worry about who you're playing. It reminded me of the 95 Indians. It comes down to this. Your pitching has to be, if your pitching's good and you're doing what you're doing and you get to the bullpen with the lead, this team's unstoppable. You can't worry about who you're playing. You just got to play your best brand of baseball. I think that's a good thing for this team because that's how they're built this year.
Obviously, it doesn't matter who you're playing, but who would, in your opinion, be the National League team to meet us in the World Series?
You have to like the Phillies. Yeah, Philly.
Yeah. And we played them. We went to Philly and won that series. So that was, what I'm saying. So the Guardians
we can win.
Yeah, we can win anywhere.
All right. Well, we just dissected it. The Guardians are clearly going to win the World Series. We're all gonna cheer the Indians really excitedly for it when it happens. We're gonna beat the Phillies in 6 games.
Wow. 6, I like. 6 games sounds great,
Roger. I love it. And we're gonna have a couple of amazing dog chugs when that happens, and we're gonna have Sleeveless Mike back on. Obviously, we're gonna celebrate. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh my god!
It's actually gonna be a better episode than this one, if you can imagine.
It's gonna be close. It's
Mike,
gonna be close.
It's November 5th because whatever. Well, that's election day. But November 2nd's the last day of the World Series. So maybe October. So maybe November 1st we have the parade in Cleveland, and it's 30 degrees. Are you sleeveless at that parade?
Hell yeah.
We win the World Series.
I am pretty committed to the brand of Sleeveless Mike. Okay. This is a hoodie. I have some actual hoodies that are warm, that are sleeveless as well. The Bill Belichick style, looking like a complete asshole with no sleeves on a hoodie. So yeah, I would probably be out there with no sleeves.
Okay,
you can get one of the dickies that go underneath your hoodie, and then you got a neck. Then your neck's protected. Then you're good.
There we go.
And then it's just the neck, and it's just a dickie, and that's what you need. And then you'd be set. You'll be warm.
That's all I need is a dickie.
Right.
All right. Well, we're 80 days away from Guardians World Series win.
Yeah.
So that's fucking amazing. Let's drink to that. And
Drunk to
yeah,
that
it's been a
one.
phenomenal show. Mike, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
Mike,
guys.
thank you, man.
And oh my God, everything you're doing with your
Make it drink again.
everything you're doing
Keep
with your
drinking, Mike.
I got nothing but time, brother. I got nothing but time.
with your what do they call it when you're part of a
Network.
network? Yeah, your network.
Yeah.
The Veterans Network. The
Plug, Mike, plug away.
Yeah, man.
Anything
Yeah.
you got to plug. This
No,
is your
guys,
time.
Thank
Hey.
you very much for having me on. No Sleeves Network is our overarching brand. You can check out everything that we do at nosleevesnetwork.com. You'll find the Lyman Lounge, The Talk, another podcast, more veteran-centric. We have food reviews, Vanilla Gorilla Eats. You guys popped up a comment from him. That's one of our guys as well. So shout out to Vanilla
There he is,
Gorilla
right
for
there.
hopping in there. Go check out the No Sleeves Network, veteran connected community. We're going to be doing a walk this weekend with the Irreverent Warriors. So shout out to them. Very grateful for them to bring us on. Lyman Lounge comes to you guys every week. We are Twitter, Facebook, everywhere you have social media. Lots of shorts, trying to get as many shorts out as possible. But yeah, appreciate you guys having me on. And No Sleeves Network is trying to grow as big as possible and being able to do stuff like this with you fine gentlemen, having a couple of drinks. Is
He must not really know us, Andy. He said,
Guys,
"Fine,
listen, we are military. This is veteran centric. This is right up our alley. We were hitting the target audience tonight, baby.
nice. Love to hear that. I
Awesome.
so appreciate coming on and love to anything we can do to help you guys out. We would love to come back on. This has been a blast. I've enjoyed every minute of this. It's been some great Browns.
Great show.
Guardians
Great show.
discussion. Yeah. So drink them if you got them. And
Oh, yeah.
The Browns will be A-O-A-OK. Come on, Andy, because they got J-O.